My name's Jonathan Stark, and I'm a mobile web developer. So Jonathan's card it really kind of happened to me. I was researching a mobile payment project, and I was using the Starbucks app, and I liked it, and I wanted to try it on my Android phone. They didn't have an app, so I thought, well, what if I just take a screenshot and email it to my other phone? And sure enough, it worked. And I bought a coffee with a picture, which blew my mind, so I blogged about it, and then one thing led to another, and the whole internet got a hold of it. So at first, a lot of people were contacting me directly to find out if there was money left on the card, if they should, get up and go down to a Starbucks, or if they shouldn't. And it got to be overwhelming, so I just set up a Twitter feed that it automatically updated itself whenever the balance changed, so people could just watch that and know if it made sense to go. That quickly got out of control, and there was a lot of crosstalk. And we set up a Facebook page to deal with that, so that everyone could kind of have a conversation on Facebook, and then the Twitter feed was just like data for how much, it was basically news updates about the card, and Facebook was where people had discussions. Starbucks did share with me after the fact that in the 5-day period that it was, blowing up, there was almost $20,000 went through the card. So that's all money contributed by strangers to strangers for coffee. I knew something was up the weekend before everything happened, because I got an insane number of emails from people following the Twitter feed that I had just set up. And it was like a couple hundred, if I recall correctly. And then Monday, then like less than 12 hours later, it was on CNN, and it was out of my control at that point. I work with a lot of big brands, and one thing that I would suggest to them is to have an API so that developers can create experiences on top of their platform. And that's a hard pill to swallow for someone who wants to control their brand, because there could be all of these apps, that don't necessarily look exactly the way the CMO wants them to look. But I think that's where the power is, and the amount of data that you'll get as the company, the feedback that you'll get from the data and usage information is huge. I think that I've urged Starbucks to release an API to do what I was doing with a screen scraper. And I think it would be powerful. I hope they still do it. I think a lot of brands could benefit from doing that. One of the things I learned about people from the Jonathan's Card thing was that as David Lee Roth once said, if you stick your head above the crowd, someone's eventually going to throw a rock at it. So, but the vast majority of people are in it for the right reasons. They get it. They're nice. They want to share. It was upsetting to me at the time when a lot of the headlines, when 50% of the headlines were going to downer-related news, the card getting shut down or something like that. But in reality, the people who are actually involved in the community take those headlines in perspective, as opposed to people who weren't involved in the community who take it as like, this great thing happened and now it's dead. Where for the people who are actually involved, they got something out of it that still drives them to this day, myself included. So I think that to just look at it on the surface isn't enough. I think you need to look beneath the surface. And now that we've got social media and sharing on the internet, you actually have a power as a brand to do so. So you can monitor social networking channels and really get in there and see what the conversation is. Because they're going to have a conversation. The people formerly known as the audience are going to have a conversation about your brand one way or the other.